Okay, good morning, guys. I want to show you really quickly what the market looks like because we are getting a pullback by alts. And we've been talking about it for a while, probably at least a week before it even happened. So hopefully some of you did keep some money on the side like we were talking about. It's okay to be invested. You know, I'm currently invested in some tokens as well, but I do have some money on the side to take advantage of this dip. And I'm going to show you where I think it could be over with. But, you know, timing is the hard thing, so we don't know for sure. So let's just look at this chart, and I'm also going to show you, maybe I'll do a different video for this, a separate video, but I was thinking about just adding on the back end of this video, showing our bot and how to use it, and I'll get into that here in a minute. And I think I'll go ahead and make it active to where everybody can see it and start using it. Well, I'll get into it here in a minute. So what we have here, let me move some of this around. So this is the 2020 bull run breakout. Bitcoin is the candles, total 3, which excludes Bitcoin and ETH. It's basically all the altcoins. It is right here in the purple. So this is 2020 on the left. This is current on the right. And we're seeing here that there is some similarities here where total 3 seems, well, it did definitely back here pull down into the full moon. And now it looks kind of like the same thing that's happening here. It's pulling down into the full moon. Now this one's extended into the full moon itself, whereas this one was pumping up. You know, this is only going to rhyme. It's never going to, you know, work exactly the same way every single cycle. I mean, we could even go back to 20, where would I want to look on this? Oh, I'd have to pull up the BLX chart. I guess we can look at that just really quick. I didn't want to make this too long. Because if we looked at the prior cycle, and I'm going to have to put this on log. This is 2017, yeah, okay. So the same area would be kind of right in here. Let me make it bigger. I need to mark the all-time high so we have an idea where it's at. So it'd be kind of right in here somewhere. And here's a full moon that happened after the breakout. So here's our breakout. I think that's right anyway, let's see. Sorry, I should have had this ready for you. Okay, so there, yeah, that is the breakout, okay. So the first full moon after that breakout is this one, and there is a little bit of a pullback there, and then there's a bigger pullback after that, you know, shortly after that. So this one happened in, actually it took it a while, didn't it? Well, this was in April, so we can't really use this necessarily as far as the timing goes. But you can see here in January before the breakout, there was a dip shortly after January. There was a pump during December. So if we don't get a pump, you know, a bigger pump out of the alts, if they just go flat like they did before the breakout, then it'll happen, you know, probably January or February. Looks like this one stayed flat all the way through February, but my guess is that by like January, I don't know, 10th or so, we'll start moving up again. You know, maybe this thing's doing like a, some kind of bull flag. You know, it just needs a rest. And then that would take us right into, well, it could extend even further actually. I don't know where this top's going to be yet, but it could extend into this full moon pump, which is the next time that'll happen is like January 12th is that next full moon. So maybe this full moon we're in currently isn't going to be that good for alts. Sometimes that happens. But then again, sometimes we do get a pump into Christmas and then it dips, you know, going into January. So we don't know for sure. That next new moon is going to be on December 30th. So within 5 days of that, you know, like the 25th to the 30th, or even 5 days after that, we could see a dip. And then hopefully somewhere around this full moon, if we don't get a pump right away now, it'll happen here. But I mean, we can see some of the alts are dipping right now. Like Quill, I bought that up there, it's dipping. Cincy's dipping, which we knew that was going to happen. Boson dipping. So like we were talking about before with the total 3, it was hitting resistance. And we knew that it was going to need a rest because it rejected there. Now, if it gets above there, then, everything's going to start moving again. But that's a lower high on the RSI. I mean, the market's not done. It's just, this is a rest period. And if we look at the presidential chart for Bitcoin, just look at the fear and greed index, what happened after the presidential election. It stayed extreme greed for a long time. We got the same exact thing happening here. And that lasted until about April. So, hopefully this happens again where this just stays above here for like how many ever days it is, 90 or whatever. And if that does happen, then we're going to have a really nice move. So that's what I would be watching for, is for the fear and greed on the weekly to break down. Because look right here, when it broke down, like a week after it started breaking down, or even 2 weeks, it started rolling over. Same here for the very top, 2021 in November. Once it lost that after staying above it, that was a sell signal. Of course, as things are bullish, it's a little bit harder to get in and out of this, but this ended up being a top as well. This did not end up being a top. It pushed again after that, but this one did. It was the halving, and we talked about this probably being a lull period, and that's why I drew this, because it was very similar to the one back here, and it pretty much almost exactly played out, except it didn't have one last dip. So things are looking fine. If we looked at the daily, we're actually still in extreme greed right there as well. So it's really a waiting game. I mean, Bitcoin has to start losing dominance again, or alts have to start gaining dominance, basically. I think that's maybe all I wanted to show. Oh yeah, Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, we were just talking about that. So could it reject here? Maybe. If it was to get back up here, then it's going to create a double top, and alts would bleed more. But hopefully it'll find a top somewhere in here and get the alts moving. Okay, so let's get into the bot here. Actually, I'm going to bring this one up because it'll be easier to see. Now you just have to follow along with me here. I'm going to show you some examples of how the bot works. It's not going to be very obvious at first. This is the bot right here. It has undergone a lot of changes. Fire Fist here is the dev that created this for us, so thank you to him. And we're working together to make it better and better. So at first it was very simple. It just kind of looked like this. Now he's got it to where it'll actually say the token name. On some of them it will show the token image if Moni is involved. Well, no, it even showed it on that one, so that's good. I don't know why it didn't show on this one, but anyway, I'm just going to go through how you would read these. You always want to try to get in on the second. Well, it's only going to show you the contract address match if it gets 2 matches. So like a day ago on this one, Voyager, that's when the first contract address was posted. So if you were to copy this and paste it in our search, you should only see 2 entries for this. I don't know if that's the same one or not. I guess it is. So this was actually on 12/7. I wonder why it just showed up for us for the... Oh, that's right. We turned off Sol Microcap alerts for a little bit. Okay. So let's just say that, here's how it would have worked in the past. Like if we were looking at this on 12/7, this would have been the second, the second alert right here. I need to look at this one that just popped up too. But this would have been the second alert. We're just looking at this one here for Voyage. So here was the first time it showed up in any of our alert channels. It's searching for the contract address in every single alert channel that we have, even the Moni ones. So Moni, Sol Microcap, Top Wallets, it doesn't matter what channel it is. If it's got a signal, it's watching for a contract address to be mentioned for the second time at least. So here's our second time it was mentioned. And if we take this contract address and go into gmgn.ai and we look at 12/7 at 9:11 p.m., we can see if that would have made us any money. So looking back at 12/7, that would have been right here about 9 o'clock. So this one did make us money. If we went back in time, Could have been as much as a 6x. I mean, if you would have caught that big wick. If not, could have been as much as like a 3x or something, maybe a 4x. So, clearly it did take, 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 days to hit this one. It took, 4 days to hit this one, maybe 5. So understand that some of these you may have to hold for longer. It's some will give you returns the same day, but a lot of these you're probably going to have to hold multiple days. So all of a sudden now we're getting signals on it again. So, maybe people are buying it again. I don't know, but that's one way you could read it. If you look at the chart and it's way down and it seems like it's holding support here with a previous support, then, maybe it is a good vibe, especially if it's somewhere around 1 or 2 million, because that tends to be a support level once it comes back down. But that's a little bit more TA type stuff. So we looked at this one. I mean, there are going to be losers too. So if we look at something like 10 figs, I don't know if this is a loser or not, but if we go back and see so this is the first mention in a Money channel at 9:33 today. This is the second mention right after that. One of our follower accounts that we follow on X, that's a smart account. This one, Emperor Soul, Solana Emperor. This is when the alert would have showed up, and it did right here. So you got 2 in quick succession. You take the CA, the contract address, you paste it in GN, and 2 hours ago, what was it doing? Let's see, it's 11:17 for me. So it really isn't doing anything, right? I mean, there is a little bit of a bump there. No, that would have been back over here, wouldn't it? Be about 8 o'clock. Yeah, so it went up a little bit, but it's barely a blip on the map there. I mean, this thing could get going, I don't know, but you'd want to see more alerts probably, because it is under a 1 million market cap. As long as it holds 100K market cap, it's probably okay, but you definitely want to see more eyes on it. So this one's a little bit more risky, and I think that's the important thing is don't just blindly jump into these because there's a contract address match. Check the chart, maybe get on smart money. Like if we jumped on Nansen here, or asked somebody to check it for you, and then we pasted it in here, and we're just going to see if any smart money has jumped in. And there's, see, last 24 hours, 7 days, 30 days, nobody has bought this one. That's a smart money wallet. So probably not one you want to get in just yet, because there's not a lot of activity. That's what these alert channels do for us, is they find tokens that smart money is interested in, and it filters out all the noise for us so we don't get into tokens that aren't ready to move. So here's one that just popped up. This will be interesting. So this one's called Zeno. First mention was 2 hours ago, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah. So always double check it just to see if it's had any alerts before, because we may have, we just started this bot 3 days ago. So just because it has an alert doesn't mean it's a brand new token, if it just has 2 entries here. So just do a little light research first. And then what we would do here is go to gn.ai. Let's just see what the chart looks like. So this is kind of like a revived project or something. I don't know, these are a little bit more risky. Yeah, there's a lot of money that came into it. I don't know what to tell you on this one. Let's see, that was on Money X Smart Alpha. So it's getting some new follows. It has 65 smart followers. It was Bursting Bagel that followed it. So maybe this is like a CTO or something. We can actually go on X. Let me see if I can just click on that Twitter. So you can go on X here and just see what's going on with it. Is a CTO or what? Let's see. Looks like they released some kind of Xbox framework. It's one of those automated channels where the bot just talks. There's some big accounts that follow it, like Spider Crypto. You could also paste the CA in here and see who's talking about it. Dex trending. Oh, that's October 30th. Never mind. You want to find something recent? Here we go. 1.5 month of coin been reviving, caught by Orion. Okay. When was this? Oh yeah, it did have a big pump, okay. There's a reveal that's being automated by NIM Network. Maybe that's what's got eyes on it. So you do have to be careful with ones like this that had a big pump all of a sudden. I just don't know if now is the right time to be jumping into this, because I guess it could keep going, but there's a chance that it could dip back down here. People taking profits that maybe bought down here or something. But that is a big volume bar. Maybe just give it a couple hours, see what it does. There's always more tokens to look at if that one doesn't work out or takes off. I wanted to show you one that worked out really well, if I can find it here. May have passed it already. Here it is. So ones like this that have multiple alerts, it's going to keep printing alerts for these sometimes. Just understand that you should always use the second oldest one. So the bottom one is the oldest one. Here's the second oldest one. This would have been the first time, if this contract address match bot, if we had it running 2 days ago for this particular channel, it would have caught this, and it may have caught it. I may not have been watching, it actually may have caught it, but it's going to keep stacking alerts on this. You just always need to go back to the original one if you want to see what it did when it was first mentioned. So this was December 15th at 10:15. And I already had it marked here actually, but yeah, 10:15. 10:15 was actually right here, I think. Right there, actually, it's a little bit higher. So this one did about a 8x or so over a period of, I don't know, just a few hours, 6 to 8 hours, something like that. I mean, it would have scared you pretty bad on this dip, but it did hold market structure. There was higher highs, higher lows, so it looked fine during the time. So you have to be willing to hold some of these and then take your initials out at 2x if you want. And then, just let it ride, see how high it'll go for you. I mean, this one's still going actually. So if you would have held to here, you'd actually have like I don't know, currently you'd be up to an 11x, and that's just over the period of 2 days. So, pretty good move for you in 2 days. So just understand that there's going to be losers and there's going to be winners. We're hoping we get more winners than losers, of course. So far, it looks to be that way. I mean, I've found 2 10x and 1 20x over the last 3 days by watching these. I didn't enter them. I was just kind of paper trading them and watching what it was doing first. But, if you want to paper trade it for a while and just see how they work for you, or if you want to just put a little bit into each of these, that's fine. Of course, none of this financial advice. I'm just showing you that the bot is working, and there will definitely be some losers. I mean, it's going to happen, but we're hoping the majority is winners. So if we look at one more here, just to wrap it up, this was a day ago at 11:40, December 16th. Always look at the chart first. What time was that again? 11:40 a.m. Okay. 11:40 would be somewhere in here. Yeah. So it looks like it did go up some. Oh yeah, you would have made a 2x or a 3x here. So that's why it's important to take your initials out, just in case. But it seems to me these are working pretty good. I mean, I'd love to be able to get in down here. We're going to need some more options through Nansen before something like that can happen. But at the same time, once we're able to get 15-minute alerts, it's going to create a lot more noise. So I've got to figure out how to get rid of the spam at the same time. So it's a balancing act. I mean, we're always trying to make it better for you, but let's just go ahead and see how it works for everybody. take your time with this. Don't get in a rush trying to. There's always going to be a play every single day. Just take your time, find the one that makes the most sense to you. Look at it on Twitter. There's always time to jump into these, or you can. I don't know, what else can you do? You can check on GMGN, the little tags down here, showing maybe what Smart Money is doing. If new fresh wallets are buying, for example. And it's kind of hard to tell here because they're buying and selling, but you can see there was a lot of buying right here. So it looks like people are trying to accumulate it here anyway. So hopefully that makes sense. I know it's a lot to consider. For those that use Money, you can even get more information. For example, and I'm just going to wrap up with this. Let me find, okay, here we go. For example, on the Money, like MoneyX Smart Alpha or the curated or raw token channels that we also pull signals from for the match, you can click on, what is it, Money Discover here. There's even some free features in this. Anybody can use this, but what you can do is, actually, I don't know, maybe it doesn't work anymore where it'll work for free. Let's see if you can paste in the address. Let's see, my_Solana agent. Yeah, that does work. So if you put that in there, even though you're just using free version, like there's some people like Dashua, Gotno, I know those are two that we follow, that we track. So you can see a steady climb here. People are interested in it, even though it's a brand new token. How many are in here? Yeah, it's kind of in that sweet spot, 10 to 50 Smart Money followers. So it's at 18 right now. It could keep going. But, this is another thing to look at, is my point. You can you can actually sort the date when you have the free one, but you can actually sort the date to see who got in first and stuff like that, or hover over here, see who got in first. I don't know if this will show for the free version. I don't think it will. So if you have Money, this is another way to check it and see, if it's a good project to get into. Of course, a lot of these are fake projects. Just remember that. You need to take your money, and if you want to take your initial out and let the rest run, that's fine. But try to take those profits when they're there. Like if you get a 10x or something, at least take some profits, even if you want to let the rest ride. Okay, well, y'all let me know if you have any questions. We're going to keep making this bot better. It is a work in progress. It's only been active for 3 days, so bear with us as we make better improvements, and hopefully it'll make us some money.